Okay, Assalamu alaikum students. Today I'm here with my new video that is about your Cambridge O-level accounting. 7707 is the code. Today we will discuss about the syllabus and the paper pattern a bit. Then we will move on to further one by one in our next videos about the curriculum discussions, how we have to solve the problems and how we can make it easy for you to learn the accounts online. So it will be a quick video. I have already explained you many things, same like the economics. Over here we have to do the two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 will be consist of the MCQs and paper 2 will be consist of the structured questions. And if we move on to the content, first of all, the fundamentals of the accounting, what are the basics, definitions, and some of the treatments of the different accounts, sources of the recording of the data, and then the verification of accounting records, accounting procedures, preparation of financial statements, then analysis and interpretation. If we go through the definition of the accounts, it is a summarized process of recording, analyzing, summarizing. So all the things are being discussed above. So here are the paper. First of all, you have the 35 MCQs, which consist of 30% of your paper, and other is the 70%, which are the structured questions. 100 marks structured question and 35 marks for the MCQs. It will be a 135 marks paper. Now if we go through in detail, same like the criteria of evaluation, over here your knowledge will be 65%, because in accounting we do have the patterns, we have the specimens in which we have to place the data. So it's really very important to remain that things in your knowledge. You have to know about the asset, liabilities, expenditures, capital. Everything will be in your mind. You have to interpret that accordingly. If I further move on in detail and depth of the subject, the purpose of accounting, why we prepare the accounts, and why we have to go through that things. Then accounting equation, which is asset is equal to liability plus capital. We will solve this equation in different ways. Then the double entry system, every debit have a credit. Over here we will learn about that what the things are being debited, what the things gonna credited, because in many time we will be confused in the things. But if we go through in detail practice, and we will know the logics of the accounts, like when the asset debit, when the asset credit, when the liability debit, when the liability credit, when the capital is decreased, then we have to introduce the drawings. When our liabilities are increasing while decreasing, if we have the basic ideas, then it will be quite simple for us to understand the double entry system. Then the business documents, like what we have to prepare, what we have to go through, what are the invoices, what are the receipts, and what are the various accounts we have to deal with. Then the books of primary entry, I will explain to you that what are the primary entries, what are the ledgers, how we have to transact the ledgers, how we have to record our transactions. Then the trial balance, after recording the ledgers, how we have to move the balance to the further to the trial balance, so we can extract our final accounts in our next chapter. We will know how to deal with the final accounts, how to extract the profits, and what are the ways to manage the balance sheet, like equalizing the assets of the liability and capital. Then what are the capital expenses, what are the revenue expenses, what do we have to deal with the control accounts. These are basically two accounts, one is sales and other is the purchase, or we can say debtor control account or the creditor control account. Then depreciation, about the wear and tear. When we have a machinery or equipment, it's gonna lose its value due to usage or due to wear and tear. That decrease in value is called depreciation. Other chapters like the payables or the receivables, that is deal with the debtors and creditors, what I have to pay, what I have to receive. Then irrecoverable debts and provision for doubtful debts. There are multiple times when we can't get back loans, we can't get back the payments from the people who have bought something from us. So the debtors got entered, and multiple time our debtors become bad debts. We can't receive that. This is known as bad debts. When you can't get money from your debtors, that means it's a bad debt. Then valuation of inventory, there is very risk. Then the sale trade, not that important. Then the partnership account is a very important. We have to look how the partners are being created, what is the partnership, how they share their profit and losses, what are the uh, drawings, what are the capital, interest on drawing, interest on capital, their logics, then their natures. Then limited companies, we have a public limited companies, what are their basics accounts and how we'll deal with that accounts. Then we have lived with the clubs and NGOs and the societies which are non-profit organization. How do they create their accounts and how they deal with their accounts? We have to go through that. Then the manufacturing is a very important. Until unless managers don't know about the manufacturing account, they can't deal with the people who are managing or who are producing the goods. So here we will see that what are the basic expenses, what are the direct costs, what are the indirect costs, and how we have to allocate these costs to the production or the factory. Then incomplete records. Prior to that, most of the people don't have the full double entry system, so they have the multiple things and other are got confused and they don't have how to manage their account. So we will take that things which they have and we will produce or manage that accounts and let them how to calculate their profit and losses. Then calculation and understand of accounting ratio. The managers will not go into detail accounts. They just need to share with the issue and what are their current positions. To manage that thing, we will deal with the ratios. We will provide them different ratios so they can have an idea what the business performance and position right now. Interpretation of the accounting ratio, then we have to interpret what the ratios are going to tell you. Like we are having to calculate the current ratio, that means we are in position that we can pay off our current liabilities with the help of current assets. Then we can test asset test ratio, that we are currently in a very much liquid form that we can immediately pay off our liabilities. Then interested parties, these are the stakeholders. Then the limitation of accounting statement, not a big deal. Then we have to go to the accounting principles, like what are the basic principles, like business matching principle, business entity, that business is a separate entity, we can sue the business for different reasons if we have to. Then accounting policies, we will review different policies which we have to go through to manage the accounts. And here are certain ratios which we have to calculate, like gross profit margin, that what are the margins of productions to GP. Okay, so these are the basic things. Then we have elaborate what are the basic testing, as we have discussed in the prior economics and business. There are three ways to evaluate the student. One is the knowledge base, other is analysis, and third is the evaluation, which are very important in this. Okay, what else you need to know before to start previous studies? Would you expect that learners starting this course have previously studied accounting? Not a big deal. We will create your things over here because most of our students, they don't know about the accounts, and when they come into the O levels they have to see this book and we will make their basics. That's not a big deal. I will tell you in my lectures that how you have to learn this particular subject. It's quite easy if you take interest in that, and it's quite difficult if you have no interest in that.